Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Savannah Chrisley Livid, after injustice, vows to fight back. Savannah Chrisley is livid after her mother's resentencing hearing. She claims it is an injustice and promises to fight back. Fans cannot believe what happened. However, Savannah is not going to give up when it comes to getting her parents home as soon as possible. Keep reading to find out more about her plans. Julie Chrisley resentencing hearing. Julie Chrisley was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison. This was for tax evasion and fraud. However, they did not find enough evidence to let the charges stick, so they had a resentencing hearing. Julie took the time to apologize to the court and to her children. Savannah and Chase Chrisley attended the hearing in person. However, Julie ended up getting the same amount of time in prison. She has already served 20 months. This means she has around 5 years left in prison. Julie broke down in tears in the courtroom. This was emotional for Julie and all of her children. Savannah is currently the legal guardian of Grayson and Chloe Chrisley. Savannah Chrisley is livid. The Chrisley daughter is not happy about the resentencing. She made sure to let people know her feelings and what her plans for the future were. Savannah is not afraid to fight for her mother and her freedom. She wants to get her home as soon as possible. However, it may be hard to get her another resentencing after she already had one. Fans were shocked to hear that Julie received the same amount of time as before. People expected her to at least get a little time taken off, maybe even for good behavior. However, that was not the case whatsoever. It seems as though Savannah has all the plans to appeal this hearing. She is not happy with the outcome. Neither is Julie, as she broke into tears after hearing she received the same sentencing as before. She apologized to the court and to her children. It was an emotional time for them all. What do you think about her resentencing? Did you think it was fair? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts. The Georgia heat was nothing compared to the fire burning in Savannah Chrisley's chest. Her blonde ponytail bounced with each step as she exited the courtroom, eyes fierce and lips pursed. The cameras waiting outside barely got a moment to adjust their lenses before Savannah, in a striking navy pantsuit and heels that clacked with authority, stepped up to the podium flanked by her lawyer and longtime family friend. She didn't waste time with pleasantries. "This isn't just about my parents anymore," Savannah began, her voice quivering with emotion but full of determination. "This is about the system, and I'm done sitting quietly while injustice wins." It had been a long week of hearings, motions, and sealed documents. At the center of the storm, a bombshell ruling from the appellate court that denied Todd and Julie Chrisley's latest motion for a retrial, despite mounting evidence of what Savannah's legal team described as gross prosecutorial misconduct. But the final straw came when the court simultaneously approved what Savannah called a shady and rushed settlement involving a key witness, one who had allegedly admitted to withholding crucial financial documents. The ruling felt like a slap in the face, and Savannah wasn't about to take it lying down. "I've played the Southern Belle long enough," she declared, her voice rising. "They want to break our spirit, but all they've done is unleash something stronger in me." The media frenzy erupted immediately. Fans flooded her Instagram with messages of support, while critics questioned whether Savannah was turning her family's legal saga into a public relations campaign. But Savannah didn't care. In her eyes, this was war. Later that evening, back at the family's Nashville home, Savannah kicked off her heels and slumped onto the living room couch, surrounded by legal pads, highlighters, and transcripts. Grayson sat nearby, scrolling quietly on his phone, occasionally glancing at his sister. Chloe, now older and more aware than Savannah wished she had to be, curled up with the family dog. "I'm tired, y'all," Savannah muttered, rubbing her temples. "But I'm not giving up." Within 48 hours of the ruling, Savannah launched the Fight Back Foundation, a nonprofit aimed at helping families entangled in wrongful convictions and bureaucratic injustice. The mission was personal, but not exclusive. The first initiative, a scholarship for young law students committed to criminal justice reform, named in honor of her mother, Julie. Behind the scenes, she also ramped up her media campaign, with appearances lined up on Good Morning America, The View, and a primetime sit-down with Anderson Cooper. Savannah was ready to weaponize her platform for change. But this wasn't just about emotional appeals. She had documents. She had timelines. She had inconsistencies in testimony and unreleased email chains she'd forced into daylight through Freedom of Information Act requests. "This isn't a tantrum," she told People magazine. "This is a movement." Still, the emotional toll was undeniable. Privately, Savannah wrestled with the fear that all her efforts might be in vain. The nights were sleepless, the news cycles were relentless, and the personal attacks, from online trolls to anonymous tipsters trying to dig up old skeletons, stung more than she let on. But each time she wavered, she thought of her parents. She thought of her mom folding laundry in the prison visitation room, smiling gently, trying to hide how tired she looked. She thought of her dad, who, despite it all, still managed to send her scribbled Bible verses on lined paper, each one signed with love and an inside joke. And so Savannah pressed on. She tapped into allies across the entertainment and legal worlds. Kim Kardashian reposted her statement with a solidarity fist emoji. Even unlikely supporters like Meek Mill and Amanda Knox praised her courage online. Savannah wasn't just advocating for her family anymore. She had unexpectedly become a new face in a much larger fight. By the end of the month, #FightBackWithSavannah was trending. Petitions had gathered over 500,000 signatures. Congressional staffers began fielding calls. A bipartisan group of lawmakers even requested a review of the Chrisley case's prosecutorial oversight. But Savannah wasn't satisfied. She wanted transparency. She wanted names. She wanted answers. "I'm not stopping until every stone is overturned," she told her podcast listeners in a fiery new episode of Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley. "Because if they can do this to my family, people with cameras, lawyers, and a voice, imagine what they're doing to the families who don't have a platform." The episode, aptly titled Livid, but Not Broken, garnered record-breaking downloads. Through it all, Savannah managed to keep a sense of humor. She posted a TikTok of herself dramatically slamming courtroom transcripts shut, lip-syncing to Beyoncé's "I'm That Girl," with the caption, "When the judge rules against you, but you know the truth always wins in the end." Her followers laughed. But Savannah wasn't just playing for likes. She was playing for legacy. In a handwritten note to Chloe, tucked in her school lunchbox one afternoon, Savannah wrote, "Always stand for what's right, even if you stand alone. One voice can start an echo. One spark can light a wildfire." As for what's next, Savannah hinted at a forthcoming documentary in collaboration with a major streaming service. The working title, Justice Interrupted. In the closing moments of her Anderson Cooper interview, Savannah looked directly into the camera and said, "I may be livid, but I'm clear, I'm strong, and I'm not afraid anymore." The world had seen Savannah Chrisley, the reality star, the daughter, the influencer. Now they were witnessing the rise of Savannah Chrisley, the activist.